not, almost died. The first near-death experience of the morning.
Uh-oh. This doesn't seem right. If I read correctly, they said horizontal lines. Not good news.
Well, perfectly fine. It's gonna be perfectly fine.
On the last episode, we have continued to frame this house. Matt cut in a nice little cubby. It's pretty big. It's actually like 11-foot wide cubby for my dream kitchen that we're going to get to. The next step today is very exciting. We are getting right into our drywall.
All right, so I'm gonna start at the entryway and wrap around. I have done some drywall repairs before. I worked with a commercial restoration company in South Florida, and when those big buildings, a pipe would bust and rain all the way down, we'd go in and cut off the bottom of the drywall. So I know how to hang drywall pretty well. That's pretty straightforward. It's just putting up big squares. When it comes to the mudding of it, my boss let me finish inside of a closet one time, and it was probably the ugliest thing we've ever seen, and he actually had to tear out the closet and have a guy redo it. So it's pretty bad.
Oh no.
But the hanging, I'm sure I got it, and I'm ready to go. And we're gonna see a transformation today. Guys, this is pretty slow going here with just the drill and each screw at a time. I know that there's drywall drills made specifically for drywall screws, and I know there's the ones that feed them through that just to go super fast. I'm only doing one room, so I should be able to just take my time and go through. I have this dimpler, which is like a universal, so that it sets them in just right. Okay, so in all my drywall learnings that I've been doing over YouTube and TikTok and the internets, I learned a pretty good one. They said, especially using this dimpler, they say it can be a little bit finicky sometimes. You get these things called clickers. You take your knife and you run it down here. See, these are all good if you listen. So I have nothing obstructing, so my mud and my tape will be able to go very smoothly over that. But here at the bottom, even though this looks good to the eye, when you slide it across, hear that click? They call them clickers. So you can run your knife. And
So you gotta screw it in more, basically.
Clickers, yeah, then you go manually and then you just jump it in a little bit here. And now, no click, ready to be finished. But the reason they say that this is so important, because you don't want to rip the paper, but you clearly don't want your screw being sticking out either. So they say it's very important. That's Maddie's tick of the day, no clipper.
All right, big piece time, big piece. Oh, snap. Matt wants to get one solid piece to go over the arch. He doesn't want it to be multiple pieces, so that's what we're trying to do now.
Okay, so Kristen said, what the heck are you doing? Why are you doing the postmodernism? What was that guy?
This doesn't seem right. If I read correctly, they said horizontal lines.
She said, why you want to do the Picasso? And I said, I want my arches, because they're, they're fragmented in. They're all little pieces of or plywood, and then the other boards, and the timber is twisted. So what I thought is, if I can make this as big as one piece as I can make it, if someone bumps it on the wall later, not that it's not very solid, but I just feel like one piece is better than having a seam on this. I want to not have the seams on this as much as I can. So I don't think the seams were going to fall basically right on it, and you were going to have a 2-inch long piece of drywall, which I know isn't going to be very strong, or 2 inches wide. So I just thought that wasn't going to work. This is a little bit more work of cutting and hanging for me, but it's only a little bit longer, and I think to add, it's going to take me 20 more minutes to put this piece up, but I think for the strength that it's going to add overall, I think it's going to be worth it.
Matt got one side of the first wall done, and it looks pretty good. I think we're doing it right. I don't know. I'm sure you guys will tell us in the comments either way, wrong or right. And it's coming together. I'm getting super excited because this is making it feel so real.
Yes, it's feeling so real. Because I had to puzzle piece that one with the crescendo of the roof, the angle of the roof, it was a little bit harder for me to puzzle piece them in there. I went with the bigger pieces as I could to stabilize it as much as I could so I don't have gaps. I have a little bit thick of a gap, but I'll just put some mud in there. I'll be able to frame that in. And then we're only doing one side before you come at me for like electricals and stuff like that. I'm only doing one side so that when I do bring in an electrician, they will have access to one side of the drywall to add things in. So Kristen's now saying she wants sconces and
yeah, that's the hard thing, is figuring out where lights should go before you even planned your design. But I want sconces. I'm really big on ambient lighting. I don't like all those puck lights that shine down. I like more of a glow, warm light. So I think some sconces would be really nice in the dining room.
yes, now I have the big wall, the big runs to do, but it should go a lot easier because I should be able to just run regular horizontal stack, 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 cut that one piece at the bottom, and it should go much quicker. Okay, so you may be looking at the drywall hanging and say the same thing that my beautiful wife just said to me. Why didn't you put all the screws in? That's really not the way that I would have done it. And I said, I understand that, honey. And I said, I do appreciate you telling me that. I was like, however, I've never built a giant drywall wall start to finish before. So if there is something wrong with the framing, or if there is something that I gotta go back and do once it's up, if there's like a big wobble somewhere or something crazy's happening and I have to take this drywall back down, I'd only have to take out a couple screws instead of 9,000. I don't know exactly how many screws go in each board, but I'm sure it's at least like 50 or something, maybe 60.
Do that again.
Well, they go like every 12 inches, 4 feet, so that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 8 feet, so 45, 50.
You don't have to tell us the exact number. I just want you to do that movement again.
It's but yeah, that's how it's going. So I'm just hanging it up there so that I get an overall look at what everything's gonna be looking like. And then once that's done, I'll zip her down and bust her down with 1,000,000 screws.
Whoa, the fan.
GDMF and fan has been in my way the whole time. I'll say GDMF because I like the sensory stuff.
This is the hard part. Uh-oh.
What?
You ripped it a little bit. Uh-oh. It's too big by 3 inches. All right, let's try this again. We hopefully trimmed it properly. The
All right, my post was a little out, got kicked around during all the building, so it was a 1/2 inch out and like a 3-foot stretch. So I don't know if that's gonna make the difference, but maybe it will. You think it'll fit now?
yes, I'm confident. It fit, but it's a giant gap. Now,
How big of a gap?
uh,
On which side? The side of that?
the left, the bad side, and I would say it's a triangle, so the top's flush, but the bottom is maybe 1.5 inches.
All right, so another lesson learned. I didn't want to take my drywall all the way down, so I made a sketchy cut out there, balancing on my rickety scaffolding, and it was a little janky at the end, but it's still gonna work because I can just push in that piece and then corner in with the tape. It's within it's about 3/4 of an inch, so I'll have a 1/4 inch gap in there, but I'll be able to tape it and mud it. All that's done up top. I don't have my scaffolding anymore. I'm gonna break this down and I'm gonna rip it. I should be able to get all this done in the next 45 minutes till the baby wakes up.
right, guys, it's day 2 of drywall bonanza, but we have to do some things before we continue to drywall. It's coming together, everything's looking good. The coffee bar is looking huge and luxury. I'm pretty excited about the coffee bar. I think that might be one of my favorite spots of the kitchen. I can see some nice, beautiful things happening there while I get to make my coffee. It's just gonna be a great, I'm a morning person, so I think that's gonna really bring in the ambiance for my morning.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the space and, you know, giving Kristen a good canvas to work with for her creative, artistic mind is very important. So we got that going, and then we finally, now that we have that set, the other wall where stoves and counters go, now we can finish framing. I built the wall before, we had a little bit of a different floor plan, but I didn't let Kristen settle. So now for the last and final time, I'm gonna take a few of those studs out. I have to finagle that wall to make all the measurements fit because it is very tight. It's like down to the inch on that. So I'm gonna
We're adding 2 doors, archways, and then the stove's gonna be in the middle. It's gonna look so sick. So we have to add those door holes. They are gonna be 30 inches wide, which is tighter than I initially wanted, but I had to do it for the idea. And I think since that goes to the pantry area in the back, I think it's fair. I think it's okay.
Perfectly fine. It's gonna be perfectly fine. Had to adjust the top beam that goes over the coffee bar. Not a lot of coffee bars have 2 by 12 beams over them, but we overbuilt it because we had to float that 15-foot section, 14-foot section. So I had to float it, put a big beam in there, had it. Anyway, we're done with that, we're ready to go. Now we are framing in our wall, divider wall for the butler's pantry. You can see we had a bunch of marks here. We went through this, like 15 different schematics for this particular one right here. You can get confused when you have a bunch of marks there, so for the final ones we color coded it green. Should be pretty straightforward, but I gotta cut these screws out, cut these nails out, and then slide them over because I won't be able to remove the nails.
And this will be our right entry.
Yeah, there's gonna be a door here, stove and some counters, and another door. So I gotta get this door right, and then I gotta get my framing for my drywall, all 24 on center.
Matthew's doing dangerous stuff with the rickety ladder, and I didn't catch on camera. He unscrewed the board his ladder was leaning on, and he almost fell on the floor.
I thought I had one more screw in it. Apparently I did not, almost died. The first near-death experience of the morning.
One door opening done, and it looks good. It looks wide enough, plenty wide enough, actually.
Entryways in. Matt will have to make the arches for those later, but now or do you have to make them now? You can't drywall until your arches are done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably should build them in.
Great, that takes a long time.
Coming back to that.
Okay, we forgot that we had to arch the doorways before we drywall the wall. I don't know why we thought we could go ahead and do that. All right, we'll see you in a second.
All right, so I was supposed to be slinging drywall, but Kristen reminded me that we had to work on our arches up here, but we decided to put the drywall in first because the main reason we wanted to go with 2 doors was to keep as much natural light as we could. So we're gonna put the drywall in and have the doors open, obviously, and then see how much light comes in because it will affect where we go with the height of the openings. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Also, I have to buzz this off because Kristen says it's throwing off her eye, and I'm also going to buzz off the archway as well so that I can get that reveal. It's pretty cool though. I was gonna have to go buy more tools, you know how we do that where we come from, but I found the old guy that had the house before us did leave me this tool. I found a Dremel with a cutout like rotozip type bit, so that makes pretty quick work of it. Once again, you know, I did pay a lot of money for the mortgage, but you know, the less you got to go to Home Depot to buy tools, it's boy math. We're making money on this house already. So I'm gonna get all this cut out, then I'm gonna hang on the drywall, and we'll see where we're at. Gotta love that rotozip tool. You can really see the project start to come together. Once you throw that bad boy in there, it is starting to clean up. I'm feeling good about my drywall. Everything's coming out really nice so far. I worked hard with my framing because everybody says the drywall can only look as good as the framing. So I worked really hard to make that smooth. I even planed some of the boards and had to make them crazy so that everything will be flat as well. And I checked it a million times. So far so good. Obviously it's matte and it's just gray drywall. So it looks pretty good right now. Once you start putting finishings on it, I think that's where I might get lost and I'm gonna have to hire professionals, faux show. But looks good, got that done. Gotta love that rotozip tool. Now let me start slinging some more sheetrock. Oh yeah, y'all, sharing is caring. So I gotta share with you another milestone that's going on in my life right now, another layer of the chaos. The baby is 11 months now, so she's getting to where she's starting to walk. So I got this little walker set up for her, thanks to her auntie gave it to her. But she's got them little stumpy legs, like on her mom's side of the family. So she don't really know how to run with it. She can just crab walk. So I tied this string to it so I can give her a little bit of a guide, and she does real well running around with that with me. Plus, like when I used to have my goat, I can just tie her to a post and she goes round and round in a circle instead of falling into the pool. But today I have to use a little bit of this. I gotta take away a little bit of her yardage because I've been having a problem hanging this drywall, and I think I have a solution to solve it. Yesterday I was way up there hanging this drywall, and there was times when the drill was down at my feet. I don't have a clip where I can hang it on my tool belt, so I had to like finagle it, reach way down. I couldn't reach it. So problem solved for now. I have tied it on a string, and I'm gonna be able to grab it, reach it, let it go, grab it, reach it, let it go. I may tie the string to my belt loop just because I feel like I could fall off a ladder and this could get caught at the top of something and I'll be swinging in the pines. So that might not be good for me getting choked out that way. But yeah, for now, I think it's gonna help me out.
Not good news. I came out after Matt trimmed the drywall above the coffee nook, niche, whatever you want to call it, and seeing it side by the archway opening to the dining room, it looks terrible. It's at the wrong height. It needs to come down more. That was a miss by me, I guess. I didn't I didn't notice that the wood didn't come down because we had that overhanging drywall, so it was like looking fine. Now that it's trimmed away, it's clearly not fine. We're gonna have to repair that. But what Matt did do was show us what it's gonna look like with the pantry and the lighting behind it. A lot of you might say, oh no, all the natural light's gone. But you probably didn't see the episode where we told everyone what we're planning to do, and we are planning on getting a 6x3 window above where the new kitchen sink will go. So we have to get someone out here to look at that, figure that all out, but that's gonna happen, so don't worry about that. Now we're gonna continue to do as much drywall as we can and see what else we can get done. The drywall up of the inside of our kitchen. The entryway holes, arch holes, hallway holes, what do you call them? Walkways. They aren't exactly right. Matt just kind of made a funny little arch cutout. They're gonna go taller than that, and they're obviously gonna get shaped better. So that's gonna get completed. Now with the opening of the coffee bar, we are gonna bring it down. We are gonna connect it. We're going to bring it down the same level as, I guess it would be called the spring line of our dining room walkway. So it's gonna hit right at that corner, and I think that's gonna make it to the eye a little more pleasing.
Of course, it will be more pleasing to the eye. So I watched a bunch of videos on how to hang drywall and prepare for these steps to try to make the later steps as easy as you can make them. And I learned a lot, but in practice, it was a lot more difficult. The guys that make the videos about slicing drywall, they do it every day, so they make it look a lot easier than it actually is. One thing I would say is super important, definitely a sharp blade. Change your blades often to keep them sharp. And then two, don't make your cuts on top of the ladder if you can make them on the floor. Measure twice, cut once, because being up there, you can never really get a good, maybe if you were on a real scaffolding, you could do a little bit better, but I didn't. The second or the third would be buy the right tools. I had that little wooden T-square. I could have spent the money and just went and got a real T-square, which I still might do, so that I could make cuts better, and it makes it a little bit quicker. You have this pressure on you to be able to just hang the drywall really fast because, you know, the old boys on the internet say, I can hang 400 sheets of drywall in one day by myself.
I don't have to do anything fast.
So I only did like 20, but it was pretty cool, pretty simple. I've got a couple of bigger gaps, so the main thing I would say is slow down, take your time, get it right, because I'm gonna have to be slinging some hot mud now, which they say is like the drywall equation of concrete, equivalent of concrete, excuse me. And then, so it's not really sandable, you have to be kind of on top of it and do that perfectly, otherwise it's a nightmare for you when you try to do your finishing coats. So I'm deep in it now though, boys. It don't matter, we ain't never turning back. I got a guy that could do the drywall himself, but I'm not giving it too much power over me. It's just drywall. I gotta rip it and get it done. And so, you know, learn from my mistakes if you're ever doing this. Hopefully though, you're just never doing this.
All right guys, make sure you check out our Patreon if you want to see the videos earlier or real-time updates, before and afters. If you want to tell us what you think we should do, we might have some polls on there. Should we do this with our coffee bar? Should we do this? Should we do this countertop or this countertop? So if you want to be part of decision making for our house renovation of our 80s Florida home, let us know. So check out that and make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Anything else you have to say?
That's it.
Bye.